Hi folks, so today on the songwriting tour adventure we are currently in County Donegal. County Donegal is the most northwesterly county on the island of Ireland. It's actually it's in the province of Ulster, which I'm currently working my way through. Spans both Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, two technically separate countries, although it's effectively borderless. So Donegal is in the Republic of Ireland. It's actually the neighbouring county to the county that I live in, which is County Derry. One of the interesting things about it is I'm actually on a little island here, actually called Inch Island, near Buncrana in County Donegal. One of the interesting things about the Wild Atlantic Way, as it's known, which is a kind of a tourist route up the west coast and the northwesterly coast here in Donegal, which includes County Donegal, is a number of years ago I was speaking to an American scientist who worked for a company that manufactured, amongst other things, testing equipment that tests air quality, and they were doing some tests here on the Donegal coast, and they thought that their equipment was broken because they couldn't detect any pollution, whatever particular thing they were testing for. They couldn't detect any of it in the air here, such as the air quality here. And that particular chap, he actually had a daughter who had a serious respiratory condition, and based on that alone, they moved here and relocated to the coast for her health. So it's quite an amazing place, Donegal. One of the things I love about it is whenever you come here, there's not anything in particular you can point to, but everything just moves slower, and it's fantastic for that. It causes you to unwind very quickly, and it's a beautiful place to kind of be and just decompress, as it were. So anyway, today's it's in the songwriting process. As you know, the Psalms are based on each county has a number allocated to it, and the number for Donegal is number 4. It's the 4th biggest county in terms of land mass in Ireland. So for today's songwriting project, the source material is Psalm 4, Psalm 34, Psalm 64, Psalm 94, Psalm 124. Is that right? Yeah. I'm just about to go and read them now, and then start working on some songwriting ideas, so I'll update you with that in a moment or two. Okay folks, here's a quick snippet of one of the ideas that's emerged so far for our Donegal song, and it's kind of come from the opening lines of Psalm 124, where there's this interesting question that says, using the New Living Translation here today, it says, "What if the Lord had not been on our side?" And in fact it repeats that line again, and then goes on and I thought it was an interesting line because it forces you to imagine, to respond to that. You've got to imagine, okay, what it makes you take stock of your circumstances. It makes you realize that the unseen hand of providence, the fact that you can even ask a question like that, already implies that you're out the other side of something, or you may be even living through something. But the fact that you can ask that question itself reveals that you're living in the good or the providence of His faithfulness, even though we don't fully see it fully outworked at times, So here's how I think the opening lines might go for the song. What if the Lord had not been on our side? What if love had left us high and dry? What if the Lord had not been on our side, and there was no one to hear these cries? Well, and into the next section. So I think that could be the premise for the song. So I'll be back shortly with an update on where we go next with it, but that's where we're at so far. The process, actually, by the way, to get me to this point is I read through the Psalms a number of times. I sing through them. I just literally sing them verbatim, and sometimes a line pops out when you're doing that. You're just strumming some chords, and so that's how it's been working today. So anyway, speak soon.